Ethan Carter stood motionless before his drafting table, ruler poised over the blueprints of his latest architectural project. His phone buzzed for the third time. Rachel again? He ignored it, focusing instead on the precise lines of the luxury apartment complex he was designing. The project would add another million to his portfolio. Not that it mattered much these days. Money had never been his driving force. The knocking on his office door broke his concentration. "Mr. Carter, your daughter's school is on line 1. They say it's urgent." Ethan's jaw tightened as he picked up the phone. "This is Ethan Carter. Mr. Carter, we need you to come pick up Lily. There's been another incident." 20 minutes later, Ethan found his 8-year-old daughter slouched in a chair outside the principal's office, her dark hair falling over her face like a shield. Her small hands clutched a crumpled piece of paper. Her artwork, he realized, now torn and stained. "The other kids said my drawing was stupid," Lily mumbled before he could ask. "They called me weird. So I pushed Tommy and he fell." Ethan knelt before her, gently tucking her hair behind her ear. "Look at me, sweetheart." When she raised her eyes, he saw tears threatening to spill. "Did you tell your teacher first?" Lily nodded miserably. "She said I needed to focus more on my schoolwork instead of drawing. But Daddy, I can't. The numbers keep jumping around and—" "I understand." And he did. The ADHD diagnosis had come 3 months ago, but Rachel had refused to consider medication, claiming Lily just needed more discipline. Easy for her to say from her new mansion across town, where she lived with Jake and their precious twins. The principal emerged from her office, wearing that practiced expression of concern that made Ethan's fingers curl into fists. "Mr. Carter, if you'll step into my office." "Actually," Ethan cut her off, his voice level but firm. "I'll be taking Lily home now. We can discuss this tomorrow when her mother can also be present." "Mr. Carter, this is the 3rd incident this month, and I'm sure having her parents' divorce splashed across the society pages hasn't helped. Tomorrow." He took Lily's hand, his grip gentle despite the anger simmering beneath his skin. That evening, after settling Lily with her favorite documentary about sea creatures, Ethan's phone rang again. Charles Carter's name flashed on the screen. "Son, your mother and I are hosting dinner tomorrow night. The whole family will be there. We need to discuss some matters." Ethan's lip curled. "The whole family?" "Yes, and I expect you to be civil. Rachel is still Lily's mother, regardless of recent events." "Recent events?" Ethan's laugh held no humor. "Is that what we're calling her affair now?" "Ethan, we'll be there." He hung up before his father could respond. The next evening, Ethan pulled up to his parents' sprawling estate, his grandfather's words echoing in his mind. "Remember, boy, a man's worth isn't in his wallet. It's in his backbone." The old man had raised him after his parents deemed him too much trouble, too different from their social circle's expectations. Now they wanted to play happy family? Lily squeezed his hand as they walked up the marble steps. "Do I have to be extra good tonight, Daddy?" "Just be yourself, princess. That's always good enough." The butler opened the door, and immediately Ethan heard Rachel's distinctive laugh floating from the direction of the pool. Of course she was already here, probably showing off her twins to his parents while Jake lounged nearby, playing the devoted husband role he'd perfected. "Ethan, darling." His mother Evelyn swooped in, air-kissing his cheek. "And Lily? Oh dear, couldn't you have done something with her hair? It's so untamed." Lily's shoulders hunched, and Ethan felt that familiar rage rise. "Her hair is perfect, Mother." "Where's Dad?" "By the pool with Rachel's angels. Those twins are such a delight. So well-behaved." The implied comparison wasn't lost on him. Ethan steered Lily toward the kitchen, away from the pool area. "Let's get you some juice first, sweetheart." But Rachel's voice carried through the open French doors. "Jake, darling, would you put more sunscreen on the twins? They have such delicate skin." Lily's hand tightened in his. "Can we go home?" "Soon," he promised, though his own stomach churned at the thought of enduring this charade. Dinner was worse. Rachel had arranged herself at the table like a queen holding court, the twins in matching outfits on either side of her. Jake sat next to her, his muscled arm draped possessively across the back of her chair. "So, Ethan," Jake said, his smile sharp, I hear you're working on the Riverside project now. Fascinating how you manage such responsibility as a single parent. The implied criticism hung in the air. Ethan met his gaze steadily. I manage just fine. Of course you do, dear, Rachel interjected, her voice dripping honey. Though Lily's teacher mentioned she's falling behind in math. Perhaps if you spent more time. Perhaps if you attended any of her parent-teacher conferences, you'd know she's actually excelling in science, Ethan cut in. Her ADHD affects her math processing, but we're working with specialists. ADHD, his mother sighed. In my day, we didn't have all these fancy labels for simple misbehavior. Lily's spoon clattered against her bowl, splashing juice onto the pristine tablecloth. The twins giggled, and Rachel shot them an indulgent smile before turning a disapproving look toward her daughter. Lily, sweetie, why don't you go wash up? Rachel suggested, her tone saccharine. You know how grandmother feels about mess. Ethan watched his daughter flee the table, her small shoulders shaking. He stood slowly, his napkin falling to the floor. Sit down, son, Charles ordered. We haven't discussed the reason for this dinner. I believe we have. Ethan's voice was ice. You've made it quite clear where your priorities lie. He found Lily in the garden, crying beneath the oak tree where his grandfather used to tell him stories. Kneeling beside her, he pulled her into his arms. Why doesn't Mommy love me anymore? She whispered into his shirt. The question shattered something inside him. Your mom. She's lost her way, sweetheart. But I promise you, I will never let anyone make you feel less than perfect. His phone buzzed, a text from his grandfather's lawyer. Need to speak urgently. Your grandfather passed this afternoon. Reading of the will tomorrow. Ethan stared at the screen, his world narrowing to those few words. The one person who had truly loved him, truly believed in him, was gone. And he'd spent his last evening at this farce of a family dinner instead of by the old man's side. Inside, he could hear Rachel's laughter mingling with his parents' voices, discussing summer plans for the twins. His jaw clenched as he looked down at Lily, who had fallen asleep against his chest, tear tracks still visible on her cheeks. They want to break us, he murmured, stroking her hair. But they don't know who they're dealing with. I'm not that weak little boy anymore. The next morning, at the reading of the will, Ethan sat stone-faced as the lawyer announced his inheritance, $50 million, and complete control over the family trust. His parents' shocked expressions would have been amusing if he wasn't so empty inside. There must be some mistake, Charles sputtered. Father always said. Father said a lot of things, Ethan interrupted, standing. He also said that money reveals character. Consider this a test of yours. He turned to the lawyer. Freeze all trust fund accounts immediately. No one gets access without my explicit approval. You can't do this, his mother shrieked. We have commitments, social obligations. Then I suggest you learn to live without them. He lifted Lily into his arms, her weight anchoring him. When you remember what family really means, we can discuss terms. Until then, he let the threat hang unfinished. That night, after tucking Lily into bed with extra stories and reassurances, Ethan sat in his study, surrounded by old family photos. One by one, he removed Rachel's image from each frame, his movements deliberate and controlled. When he reached their wedding photo, he paused. You thought I was weak, he told her smiling image. You all did. That ends now. He opened his laptop and began typing an email to Mia Torres, the private investigator whose card he'd been carrying for months. It was time to show them exactly what happened when you betrayed Ethan Carter. The photos fell into the trash, but he kept one. A shot of Rachel with Jake at their country club, taken 3 months before she asked for a divorce. His proof, his motivation, his fuel. Game on, he whispered to the empty room. Chapter 2. Unraveling Lies. The downtown cafe buzzed with morning activity as Ethan studied the woman seated across from him. Mia Torres didn't look like a typical private investigator. Her designer suit and perfectly manicured nails suggested corporate law rather than surveillance work. But her eyes were sharp, missing nothing. Mr. Carter, she began, her voice low and professional. I've reviewed the preliminary information you sent. You understand that what you're asking for goes beyond a simple infidelity investigation. Ethan sipped his black coffee. I'm not interested in proving the affair. I want everything, every skeleton, lie, dirty secret they've tried to bury. Can you do that? Mia's perfectly shaped eyebrow arched. I can. The question is, are you prepared for what I might find? Family secrets tend to cut both ways. I stopped considering them family the moment they chose sides. He slid an envelope across the table. This is your retainer. I want weekly reports, starting with Jake Monroe's background. Something about his story doesn't add up. And Mrs. Carter, excuse me, Mrs. Monroe now? Rachel's facade is already cracking. I want to know who's holding her strings besides Jake. She's spending more than her alimony allows. Mia nodded, tucking the envelope into her briefcase. One last thing, Mr. Carter. Your daughter. How much of this touches her? Ethan's eyes hardened. Everything I do is to protect Lily. Remember that. Over the next few weeks, Mia's reports painted a picture that even Ethan hadn't anticipated. Jake's history revealed a pattern: wealthy women, messy divorces, missing funds. Rachel wasn't his first target, just his most successful one. Meanwhile, Charles and Evelyn launched their own campaign. The calls started subtly, casual mentions of charity boards counting on their contributions, social committees expecting their participation. When Ethan remained unmoved, they escalated. You're destroying your grandfather's legacy, Charles shouted during an unexpected visit to Ethan's office. He built this family's reputation over decades. Ethan didn't look up from his blueprints. No, father. He built this family's wealth. You and mother built the reputation, on lies and appearances. There's a difference. You ungrateful. Security will escort you out. Ethan cut him off, pressing the intercom button. Don't come to my office again. That evening, he took Lily to her favorite art supply store. She'd been quiet lately, withdrawn, and he worried the stress was affecting her more than she showed. Can I get the big set of paints? She asked hesitantly, touching the professional-grade acrylics with longing. Of course. He added them to their cart along with canvases and brushes. Why don't we set up a proper studio in the sunroom? Her eyes lit up for the first time in weeks. Really? But Mom said art was a waste of time. She said I should focus on proper activities, like the twins' ballet. Your mother is wrong. He knelt to her level. Art isn't just about making pretty pictures. It's about expressing what's inside you. Never let anyone tell you that's a waste. That weekend, they transformed the sunroom together. Ethan installed proper lighting and easels while Lily arranged her supplies with uncharacteristic focus. When she finally put brush to canvas, her usual fidgeting stilled. Daddy, look. She stepped back from her first painting, a swirl of dark and light blues with a bright yellow center. It's how I feel inside sometimes, all mixed up but with a happy spot. Ethan felt his throat tighten. It's beautiful, sweetheart. Just like you. The moment was interrupted by his phone. Mia had sent an urgent text. Meeting. Now. Bring checkbook. He found her at their usual cafe, her normally composed face tight with anger. You're not going to like this, she said without preamble, sliding a file across the table. Jake's been busy. The photos showed Jake leaving high-end hotels with different women, all bearing a striking resemblance to Rachel. But it was the bank statements that made Ethan's blood boil. Regular transfers from Rachel's personal account to an offshore holding company. She's financing his affairs, Mia explained quietly. But it gets worse. Those women? They all filed domestic violence reports against their ex-husbands during their divorces. Reports that mysteriously disappeared once substantial settlements were paid. Ethan's hand clenched around his coffee cup. He's orchestrating false abuse claims. With Rachel's help. But here's what doesn't track. She's burning through money faster than your alimony provides. Someone else is bankrolling this operation. My parents? Mia shook her head. Not since you froze the trust. This is new money, coming through a shell corporation I haven't cracked yet. But Jake's getting nervous. My sources say he's been making calls, looking for a quick exit strategy. Let him run, Ethan said coldly. The farther he runs, the harder he'll fall when I find him. That night, as Ethan reviewed Mia's files, a new email arrived, photos from his parents' country club. Rachel was there with the twins, holding court among his mother's social circle. The women fawned over the children while Rachel played the part of the wronged wife, no doubt spinning tales of Ethan's supposed cruelty. His phone rang Rachel's number. After a moment's consideration, he answered. The twins miss their big sister, she said without preamble. I'm having a small birthday party for them next weekend. Lily should come. Like she was invited to their last 3 parties? Don't be difficult, Ethan. I'm trying here. No, you're playing games. The same games you played during our marriage. The answer is no. She's my daughter too. Rachel's voice rose. You can't keep her from me forever. I have rights. Rights? Ethan's laugh was harsh. Like the right to cancel every other weekend visit? The right to skip her school conferences? The right to tell her she's not good enough because she's not like your precious twins? That's not fair. Life isn't fair, Rachel. You taught me that. Now I'm teaching you. He hung up and opened his laptop, typing a quick email to his contact at the society pages. The photos of Jake with his latest conquest would run tomorrow, right next to Rachel's quotes about family values and motherhood. Let her explain that to her social circle. A small noise made him look up. Lily stood in the doorway, clutching her stuffed orca. Bad dream? He asked softly. She padded over and climbed into his lap, something she'd been doing less often lately. I heard you talking to Mom. Are you mad at me too? Never. He held her close, breathing in the sweet smell of her shampoo. I'm mad at the people who hurt us. But you, Princess, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. Promise you won't leave like Mom did? I promise. And in that moment, looking at his daughter's trusting face, Ethan silently vowed to destroy anyone who dared hurt her again. Chapter 3, Breaking Point. The morning sun hadn't yet risen when Ethan's phone vibrated with an urgent message from his bank. Multiple attempts to access the frozen trust fund accounts had been logged overnight. His parents were getting desperate. He scrolled through the notification list while his coffee brewed. Charles had tried 6 different passwords before triggering the security lockout. Evelyn had called the bank's emergency line twice, claiming a family crisis required immediate access to the funds. Mr. Carter? His security system announced Mia's arrival. She strode into his kitchen, her usual polished appearance slightly disheveled. We need to talk. Now. She spread documents across his counter, her hands trembling slightly. Jake's been busy. He's not just cheating on Rachel, he's stealing from her. Those offshore accounts? They're being drained. Fast. Ethan studied the transaction records. She doesn't know? No. And there's more. Mia pulled out her phone, showing him a video. This was taken last night at their house. The security footage showed Jake grabbing Rachel's arm, shoving her against a wall. Her fearful expression was clear even in the grainy video. The neighbors called the police, Mia explained, but Rachel refused to press charges. She bailed him out this morning. Where are the twins? With your parents. Rachel didn't want them to see. Mia hesitated. Mr. Carter, Ethan, I've seen this pattern before. It escalates. Always. Ethan's jaw clenched. Give me everything. Police reports, witness statements, hospital records if any exist. And Mia? Stay on them. 24/7 surveillance. Later that morning, he sat in his lawyer's office, reviewing custody modification papers. Given the domestic violence incident, we have grounds to request supervised visitation only, the lawyer explained. But Rachel's likely to fight back hard. Let her. Ethan signed the papers. She chose her battle when she chose him. His phone buzzed. A text from Charles. Your mother's in tears. Our club membership's been revoked due to unpaid dues. This vindictive behavior must stop. Ethan blocked the number without responding. At home, he found Lily in her studio, painting with fierce concentration. Dark reds and blacks swirled across her canvas, punctuated by jagged lines of white. That's intense, he commented carefully. It's how I feel when people are mean, she explained, not looking up. The white parts are you protecting me. His heart constricted. I will always protect you, princess. No matter what. I know. She finally turned to him, paint smudged on her cheek. That's why I'm not scared anymore. Not even when Tommy at school says mean things about Mom living with Jake now. Ethan knelt beside her. What does Tommy say? That she left because I'm weird. That the twins are better because they're normal. Her voice wobbled slightly. But that's not true, right? She left because she made bad choices, Ethan said firmly. None of those choices had anything to do with you. You are perfect exactly as you are. The doorbell rang, Rachel, unannounced and uninvited. Ethan found her on his doorstep, looking uncharacteristically disheveled. I need to see my daughter, she demanded, pushing past him. You're not welcome here. You can't keep her from me. I'm her mother. A mother who hasn't shown up for a single scheduled visit in months, Ethan countered coldly. A mother who lets her new husband badmouth her daughter. A mother who... You have no idea what I'm dealing with. Rachel's voice cracked. Jake, he's not who I thought. Get out. Ethan, please. You made your choice, Rachel. Live with it. She lunged forward, trying to push past him toward the stairs. Lily, baby, mommy's here. Ethan caught her arm, his grip firm but controlled. Security is already on their way. Leave now, or the police will be my next call. You can't do this. Tears streaked her makeup. You're trying to turn her against me. No, Rachel. You did that all on your own. After she left, he found Lily hiding in her closet, clutching her stuffed orca. Is Mom gone? Yes, Princess. She's gone. Good. Lily's voice was small but firm. She smelled funny. Like the medicine cabinet at Grandma's house. Ethan made a mental note to have Mia look into Rachel's prescription history. That evening, his phone rang, an unlisted number. Mr. Carter? This is Detective Morrison. There's been an incident at your ex-wife's residence. His grip tightened on the phone. What kind of incident? Domestic disturbance. Your ex-wife is... She's in the hospital. Nothing life-threatening, the detective added quickly. But given the circumstances and your custody arrangement, we needed to notify you. The twins? With their father. Mr. Monroe posted bail an hour ago. Ethan ended the call and immediately dialed Mia. I need eyes on that hospital. 24-hour coverage. If Jake goes anywhere near her... Already on it, Mia interrupted. But Ethan, this might be our chance. She's vulnerable, isolated. If we move now... No. His voice was ice. Let her feel what it's like to have no one. Let her understand exactly what she put our daughter through. He spent that night in Lily's room, watching her sleep, his mind racing with plans and contingencies. His phone buzzed occasionally, updates from Mia about Rachel's condition, messages from his parents demanding access to funds, even a rambling text from Jake claiming innocence. Ethan ignored them all. Tomorrow would bring the next phase of his plan. Tomorrow, they'd learn that betraying Ethan Carter wasn't just a mistake. It was the last mistake they'd ever make. The seeds of discord had been planted long ago, by their own hands. Now it was time to watch them reap what they'd sown. Chapter 4. Shadows of Deception. Mia Torres sat in her parked car outside Jake Monroe's new fitness center, watching members filter in and out through her telephoto lens. The small coastal town seemed an unlikely place for Jake to resurface, but desperation made people predictable. Her phone buzzed. Ethan. Tell me. He's running a classic confidence scheme, she reported. Targeting divorced women, promising them life transformation packages. The contracts they're signing give him power of attorney for health and wellness decisions. Send me everything you have. And Mia? Make sure those women know exactly who they're dealing with. She smiled grimly. Some jobs were more satisfying than others. Across town, Rachel Monroe stood outside her parents' gated mansion, pressing the intercom repeatedly. Mother, please. I know you're home. I can see your car. Silence answered her pleas. Her designer handbag, the last of her luxury items, held only makeup, half a bottle of pills, and $73. The credit cards were all declined now, the accounts frozen or emptied. Mrs. Monroe? A security guard approached. I'm afraid I have to ask you to leave. Mr. and Mrs. Carter were quite clear about their instructions. Rachel's laugh held an edge of hysteria. They're my parents. Not anymore, the guard replied, not unkindly. Please don't make me call the police. Meanwhile, Ethan watched Lily prepare for her first art competition. She'd been working on her piece for weeks, an abstract exploration of trust and betrayal that made his chest ache with its raw honesty. "What if they don't like it?" she asked, adjusting the canvas on its easel. "They'll see what I see," he assured her. "Talent, courage, truth." The competition judges certainly saw it. Lily's painting won first place, her acceptance speech clear and confident despite the crowd. Ethan filmed everything, noting how she stood straighter now, fidgeted less. "Mr. Carter?" A gallery owner approached after the ceremony. "We'd love to feature Lily's work in our Young Artists Showcase next month." Before Ethan could respond, a familiar voice cut through the celebration. "She gets her artistic talent from me, you know." Rachel stood nearby, swaying slightly, her designer outfit wrinkled and stained. "I was quite the painter in college, Mom." Lily's voice wavered. "You came?" "Of course, sweetie. I saw it on the community board and—" Rachel stumbled forward, reaching for Lily. Ethan stepped between them. "You're not welcome here. She's my daughter." "Mrs. Monroe," the gallery owner interjected, "I'm going to have to ask you to leave. You can't keep her from me forever, Ethan." Rachel's voice rose hysterically. "I have rights." "Rights?" Ethan's voice could have frozen flame. "Like the right to choose your new husband over your daughter? The right to miss every visitation? The right to—" "You don't understand. Jake took everything. The accounts, the house, even the twins." Rachel's makeup streaked with tears. "I need help, Ethan. Please. Like you helped me?" His smile made the gallery owner step back. "Enjoy rock bottom, Rachel. You've earned it." Later that night, Ethan received another update from Mia. She'd staged her own disappearance, leaving a trail suggesting she'd fled the country. In reality, she'd infiltrated Jake's operation through one of his targeted clients. "He's getting sloppy," she reported via their secure channel. "The women are starting to talk. 2 have already contacted lawyers about the contracts." "Good. Keep pushing. I want him desperate." "Ethan." Mia hesitated. "He's asking questions about Lily, making calls about her school." "Let him try." Ethan's voice held deadly promise. "I've been waiting for his mistake." The next morning brought an unexpected visitor to Ethan's office, his father. Charles Carter looked older, his usually impeccable appearance showing signs of strain. "I've been volunteering at the community center," Charles said without preamble, "teaching woodworking to kids from broken homes. It's opened my eyes to some things." "Fascinating." Ethan continued reviewing blueprints. "Why are you here?" "To apologize. The way we treated you, the way we favored Rachel and the twins. It was wrong." "Yes, it was. I'd like to spend time with Lily, really get to know her. Maybe teach her woodworking if she's interested." Ethan finally looked up. "Why now?" "Because I'm tired of pretending. Your mother, she's not well, Ethan. The facade she built, the social status she craved, it's destroying her. But me? I just want my family back." "Family?" Ethan's laugh held no humor. "You gave up that right when you chose sides. I'm choosing now." Charles placed a small wooden box on Ethan's desk. "I made this with Lily in mind. Whether you give it to her is your choice. But I'll be at the center every Saturday, teaching kids how to build beautiful things from broken pieces, like you've done with her." After Charles left, Ethan opened the box. Inside lay a delicately carved carousel horse, each detail perfect, the base inscribed with Lily's name. His phone buzzed. Another message from Mia. "Jake's losing control. 3 more women have come forward. He's drinking heavily, making threats. Want me to push harder?" Ethan studied the carousel horse, remembering how his father's hands had shaped it. "No. Let him self-destruct. Sometimes the best revenge is watching them destroy themselves." That evening, as Lily worked on her latest painting, Ethan watched Charles's community center from his car. Through the windows, he saw his father patiently teaching a young boy how to sand wood, his expression gentler than Ethan had ever seen it. "Daddy?" Lily's voice broke through his thoughts. "Can we get ice cream?" "Of course, princess." He started the car, then paused. "How would you feel about learning to make things from wood?" Her eyes lit up. "Like building stuff? That's so cool. I know someone who could teach you, but only if you want to." "Is it Grandpa?" "I saw him watching my art show. He looked sad." Ethan tensed. You saw him? He stayed in the back. But he clapped really loud when I won. Lily twisted her seatbelt. Is it okay that I want to learn from him? Yes, Ethan said after a long moment. It's okay. Meanwhile, across town, Jake Monroe stared at his computer screen, watching his empire crumble. Client complaints, legal notices, credit alerts, they piled up like accusations. His phone rang, another journalist asking about the fraud allegations. He slammed the phone down, reaching for his whiskey bottle. The women were lying. They had to be. But how had they all connected? How had they known where to look? A letter slid under his office door. Inside, he found photos, himself meeting clients, making deals, exchanging money, and a note. I see you. Jake's hands shook as he poured another drink. Someone was watching. Someone knew everything. But who? His phone buzzed. Rachel? Jake, please. I need money for food. The twins are asking for you. He blocked her number. Outside his office, Mia smiled as she snapped another photo. Piece by piece, Jake Monroe's world was falling apart, and he never suspected the quiet woman who attended his fitness classes 3 times a week, recording everything. Ethan's revenge wasn't just about destruction, it was about justice. For Lily, for the women Jake had conned, even for Rachel though she didn't deserve it. But mostly, it was about showing them all that Ethan Carter was not a man to be betrayed. Chapter 5. The Breaking Point. The police lights painted Jake Monroe's office in alternating red and blue as officers led him out in handcuffs. His designer suit was rumpled, his face twisted with rage as he spotted the cameras waiting outside. This is a mistake, he shouted. I'm being set up. Detective Sarah Martinez read him his rights, her grip firm on his arm. The charges were serious: assault, fraud, conspiracy. But it was the domestic violence charges that would keep him in custody, thanks to Rachel's hospital records and witness statements Mia had carefully compiled. Across the street, Mia recorded everything, transmitting live to Ethan's secure server. It's done, she texted. Phase 1 complete. In his home office, Ethan watched the footage with cold satisfaction. Beside his laptop sat a stack of files, evidence of Jake's other crimes, ready to be leaked to prosecutors at strategic intervals. The man wouldn't see freedom again for decades. His phone rang, an unknown number. Mr. Carter? This is Mercy Hospital. We're calling about Rachel Monroe. 20 minutes later, he stood outside the emergency room, debating whether to go in. The doctor's words echoed in his mind. Attempted overdose, stomach pumped, psychiatric hold recommended. Sir? A nurse approached. Mrs. Monroe is asking for you. She's quite insistent. I'm not family anymore. She says you're the only one left. Ethan's laugh was bitter. That's her choice, not mine. What should I tell her? Tell her to remember this feeling. This is what our daughter felt every time she chose someone else. He turned away from the hospital, ignoring the nurse's disapproving look. His phone buzzed. Charles again. Lily did amazing in woodworking class today. His father's message read. She has a natural talent for detail work. I've never seen such patience in a child her age. Attached was a photo of Lily sanding a small jewelry box, her face scrunched in concentration. The next message came quickly. Thank you for giving me this chance. Ethan didn't respond, but he saved the photo. At home, he found Lily in her studio, adding final touches to her latest painting. This one showed a path through darkness, leading to a bright clearing. In the clearing stood 2 figures, one tall, one small. It's us, she explained without looking up. After the storm. Storm? That's what my therapist calls it. All the bad stuff with Mom and Jake and everything. She says we're getting through it together. Ethan studied the painting. The darkness is behind us? Mostly. Lily added a tiny spot of light in the dark section. But see that? That's Grandpa. He's finding his way out too. Before Ethan could respond, his phone buzzed. Mia's emergency signal. Multiple missed calls from Jake's number. Her text read. He made bail. He's drunk and making threats. Ethan's body tensed. Stay on him. I'm arranging extra security now. Already done. But Ethan? He's talking about Lily. Saying if he can't have his kids, why should you have yours? The phone creaked in Ethan's grip. Where is he? heading toward your neighborhood. Police have been notified, but a crash from downstairs cut off Ethan's response. Lily screamed. Hide, he ordered, pushing her toward the studio's storage closet. Don't come out until I call you. He moved silently down the stairs, hearing Jake's drunken muttering from the living room. Come out, you smug bastard. Think you can ruin my life? Take everything from me? Funny, Ethan said coldly, stepping into view. Those were my words when you took my wife. Jake spun around, nearly falling. You set me up. Those women, the contracts, it was all you. Prove it. I'll kill you. Jake lunged forward, swinging wildly. Ethan stepped aside, letting Jake's momentum carry him into the wall. Like you killed Rachel's spirit? Like you tried to kill my daughter's confidence? Your precious daughter, Jake sneered, steadying himself. Where is she? Let's see how tough you are when. He never finished the sentence. Ethan's fist connected with his jaw, sending him sprawling. Before Jake could rise, police sirens wailed outside. Right on time, Ethan said quietly. Detective Martinez burst in, weapon drawn. Jake Monroe, you're under arrest for violating your bail conditions and breaking and entering. As officers led Jake away again, Mia appeared at Ethan's side. I called them the moment he turned onto your street. Are you okay? Fine. Ethan was already heading upstairs. Lily? Princess, you can come out now. The closet door opened slowly. Is the bad man gone? Yes, sweetheart. He's gone for good this time. Lily threw herself into his arms. I wasn't scared, she whispered. I knew you'd protect me. Later that night, after Lily was asleep, Ethan sat in his study reviewing security footage of Jake's intrusion. Each frame fueled his resolve. This wasn't over yet. His phone buzzed. Charles. I heard what happened. The Community Center Board wants to start a support group for families affected by domestic violence. Will you help? Ethan stared at the message for a long moment. Send me the details, he finally replied. Another message arrived from Mia. Evelyn checked into rehab this afternoon. Charles is handling the press discreetly. The pieces were falling into place. His mother's carefully constructed social facade had crumbled under the weight of scandal. His father was finding redemption in simple, honest work. Rachel had hit rock bottom, forced to face her choices. And Jake would never hurt another family again. But something nagged at him, a sense that he was missing a crucial detail. Rachel's spiral seemed too complete, her fall too orchestrated. Someone else was pulling strings behind the scenes. Mia, he texted, dig deeper into Rachel's recent contacts. Someone's helping her, even now. Find out who. The response came quickly. Already on it. You're not going to like what I've found. Ethan poured himself a drink, studying the family photos on his wall. The ones remaining showed only him and Lily. His real family, stripped of pretense and betrayal. His phone buzzed one final time. An unknown number. The message contained only a photo. Rachel in her hospital room, looking broken and small. No caption, no explanation. He deleted it without a second glance. Chapter 6. Rising Tensions. The legal document landed on Ethan's desk with the weight of a bomb. Rachel's new lawsuit claimed defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and interference with business relationships. The damages sought, $20 million. She doesn't have the resources for this kind of legal action, Mia said, pacing his office. Someone's bankrolling her. Who? That's where it gets interesting. She placed another file before him. Meet Richard Carter, Evelyn's estranged brother and the black sheep of the family. Ethan studied the photo of a man who could have been Charles's darker reflection. Why now? Revenge, primarily. Your grandfathers will cut him out completely. He's been waiting for a chance to strike back at the family, and Rachel gave him the perfect opportunity. Exactly. He's not just funding her lawsuit. He's orchestrating a complete takeover attempt of the Carter fortune. Ethan's phone buzzed, a message from Lily's school. She completed another mural, this one spanning an entire hallway. The photo showed a complex design of interconnected circles, each containing scenes of healing and growth. My art teacher says it's about resilience, Lily explained when he picked her up. You know, how strong things can be even after they break. Like us. She nodded. Like us. That evening, Charles invited them to dinner. A simple meal at his new apartment, not the formal affairs of the past. The walls displayed photos of Lily's art alongside his woodworking projects. I've been thinking, Charles said as they finished eating. The foundation needs a new direction. Less charity galas, more direct support for families in crisis. And Mother's opinion on this? Charles sighed. The doctors say her recovery will take time. The facade she maintained all these years. It broke her when it crumbled. Time won't fix everything. No, Charles agreed quietly. But it gives us a chance to build something new. Something honest. Their conversation was interrupted by Ethan's phone. Mia again. Richard's making moves. He's calling in old family debts, pressuring board members. Some are already wavering. Ethan's jaw tightened. Another enemy emerging from the shadows, thinking him weak. They never learned. Over the next week, Richard's plan became clear. Anonymous stories appeared in business journals questioning Ethan's leadership. Shareholders received letters detailing supposed mismanagement of family assets. Rachel's lawsuit expanded, adding claims of psychological manipulation and financial misconduct. He's trying to force a board vote, Mia explained during their emergency meeting. If he can prove you're unfit to manage the trust, he can't prove what isn't true. Truth isn't his concern. Perception is. She spread photos across his desk. Rachel at high-end rehab facilities, giving tearful interviews about her recovery journey. She's playing victim again. With Richard's coaching, he's rewriting the narrative. You're the vindictive ex-husband. She's the troubled mother seeking redemption. It's calculating but effective. Ethan's phone buzzed. Charles had sent another photo of Lily at the community center. She was helping younger children with their projects, her smile bright and genuine. Sir? His assistant knocked tentatively. Mr. Richard Carter is here. He says it's about the lawsuit. Send him in. Richard Carter strode into the office like he owned it, his resemblance to Charles even more striking in person. Nephew, time we had a chat. About how you're manipulating Rachel? About family legacy. Richard's smile was razor-sharp. Your grandfather made a mistake, cutting me out. I'm here to correct it. By funding a false lawsuit? By reminding everyone who the Carters really are. Your little revenge campaign? Amateur hour. I'm offering you a chance to step down gracefully. Before things get ugly. Ethan's laugh held no humor. Uglier than exploiting a mentally unstable woman? Uglier than using my daughter's pain for leverage? Speaking of your daughter, Richard placed a folder on the desk. These are from Rachel's new legal team. They're filing for emergency custody modification. Seems your recent, aggressive behavior raises concerns about Lily's safety. Ethan's hands curled into fists. Get out. Think about it, nephew. Family fortunes can change so quickly. After Richard left, Mia emerged from the hidden recording alcove. Got it all, including the custody threat. That's textbook intimidation. Find everything on him. Every deal, secret, skeleton. He wants to play family politics? Let's show him how it's done. That evening, during Lily's art therapy session, Ethan reviewed the files Mia had compiled on Richard. Decades of questionable business practices, failed marriages, estranged children. A pattern emerged. He destroyed everything he touched, all while maintaining a veneer of sophisticated charm. Mr. Carter? Lily's therapist beckoned him into the session. Your daughter wants to share something. Lily stood proudly beside her latest painting, a complex scene showing a fortress under siege. But unlike her earlier dark works, this one blazed with color. Defenders stood strong on the walls, their weapons made of light. It's us, she explained. All the people trying to help us. See? She pointed to figures in the painting. That's you, and Grandpa, and Ms. Mia, and even my art teachers. The bad people can't get in because we're stronger together. Ethan knelt beside her. When did you get so wise, princess? When you showed me it's okay to be strong. Later that night, Ethan received an urgent call from his lawyers. The board vote Richard had orchestrated was falling apart. Two key members had withdrawn their support after receiving anonymous evidence of Richard's past manipulations. He's getting desperate, Mia reported. His funding for Rachel's lawsuit suddenly dried up. She's panicking, threatening to expose him if he abandons her. Good. Ethan's smile was cold. Time to end this. The next morning, every major business publication received detailed documentation of Richard's corrupt dealings. Bank records, witness statements, photographs, a lifetime of crimes laid bare. By evening, Rachel's lawyers had withdrawn from the case. Richard's carefully constructed plan crumbled as quickly as he had built it. He's running, Mia confirmed. Private jet fueled and ready at the airport. Let him run. The evidence is already with the FBI. His phone buzzed. A final message from Richard. This isn't over. Ethan didn't bother responding. Instead, he texted Charles. Lily wants to show you her new painting. Dinner tomorrow? The reply came quickly. I'll bring the woodworking plan she asked for. Standing in Lily's studio later, Ethan studied her fortress painting. Each defender she'd drawn stood tall, unafraid. The fortress walls gleamed with strength, not isolation. She'd seen something he hadn't. Revenge wasn't about destroying enemies. It was about building something they couldn't break. His phone buzzed one last time. Mia. Richard's jet was denied takeoff. FBI waiting on the tarmac. Ethan smiled. Act 2 of his revenge had played out perfectly. But watching Lily add final touches to her painting, he realized she'd given him something far more valuable than vengeance. She'd given him hope. The fortress would stand, stronger than ever. Let them come with their schemes and threats. They'd learn what he'd always known. You don't target a man's family without paying the price. The real war was just beginning. But for now, in this moment, victory tasted sweet. Chapter 7. The Enemy Within. Richard Carter paced his penthouse office, watching Ethan's latest press conference on mute. His nephew's composed expression revealed nothing as he announced the expansion of the Carter Foundation's community outreach programs. Smug bastard, Richard muttered, tossing back another scotch. The markets had responded positively to Ethan's leadership. The board was firmly in his corner, and Rachel's lawsuit had imploded spectacularly. His phone buzzed, another warning from his offshore banker. Account access denied. Assets frozen. Investigation pending. Sir? His assistant's voice trembled. The FBI is in the lobby. Richard's hands curled into fists. He'd underestimated Ethan, treated him like the weak child Evelyn and Charles had dismissed years ago. Now he was paying the price. But he had one card left to play. Get me Jake Monroe on the phone. Across town, Mia observed the exchange through high-powered surveillance equipment. He's making contact, she reported to Ethan. Jake just left the halfway house. Stay on them. Richard's desperate. That makes him dangerous. Ethan ended the call as Lily bounded into his office, clutching her latest art competition trophy. Her confidence had grown exponentially since starting therapy, her ADHD now properly managed with medication and support. Dad, Miss Peterson says I can teach the younger kids art class next semester. That's amazing, princess. He hugged her close, inhaling the familiar scent of paint and happiness. Your grandfather will want to hear all about it. Can we go to the community center now? He's teaching me how to make a jewelry box with secret compartments. A notification pinged on Ethan's laptop. Another attempt to access the frozen trust accounts, this time from an IP address in the Cayman Islands. Richard was getting sloppy. Let me finish one thing here, then we'll go. He sent a quick message to his security team, doubling the surveillance on both Richard and Jake. Something was coming. He could feel it. At the halfway house, Jake Monroe stuffed clothes into a duffel bag, his hands shaking. The guard he'd bribed would buy him 3 hours before reporting his violation of house arrest. His phone buzzed. Richard's text contained an offshore account number and 2 words. Get her? Jake smiled, remembering the fear in Rachel's eyes when he'd grabbed her that last time. But Lily? Taking Ethan Carter's precious daughter would hurt far worse than any physical pain. The surveillance camera outside his window recorded everything, transmitting directly to Mia's secure server. They took the bait, she told Ethan. Jake's moving early. Sloppy and scared, just like we planned. Where's Richard? Still in his office, making calls. He's trying to access emergency funds, but your financial blockade is holding. Ethan's voice held deadly calm. Keep monitoring both. I want to know the moment they make contact. At the community center, Charles watched Lily work on her jewelry box, her small hands steady as she fitted the hidden compartment mechanisms. She'd inherited Ethan's precision, but her creative flair was all her own. Grandpa, look, I added a special lock that only opens if you press these spots in the right order. That's incredible, sweetheart. Charles marveled at how easily she'd grasped concepts that had taken him years to master. Your father will love it. It's not for Dad. Lily's voice dropped to a whisper. It's for Mom. For when she gets better. Charles's heart clenched. Despite everything Rachel had done, Lily still held on to hope. Just like Ethan had, all those years ago. His phone buzzed, a text from Evelyn's rehab facility. She was having another difficult day, the reality of her choices finally breaking through decades of denial. Outside the center, Jake watched through binoculars, noting security patterns and exit routes. The old man and the brat worked every Saturday afternoon, predictable, vulnerable. The loading dock is unguarded between shifts, he reported to Richard. We can grab her there. No mistakes this time, Monroe. You want your money? Give me that girl. Neither man noticed the tiny surveillance device in Jake's collar, planted weeks ago when Mia infiltrated the halfway house laundry service. Back in his office, Ethan reviewed the surveillance transcripts, his expression hardening with each word. They're moving faster than expected. Want me to alert the police? Mia asked. Not yet. Let them try. I want enough evidence to bury them both. His phone buzzed, Rachel's number. After a moment's hesitation, he answered. Ethan, please. Her voice was raw, desperate. Richard, he's not who I thought. He's been using me, manipulating everything. I can help you stop him, like you helped him file for emergency custody. I didn't know he'd try to take Lily. You have to believe me. I don't have to believe anything you say, Rachel. You lost that right long ago. He's working with Jake. They're planning something. I heard them talking about the community center. Ethan's grip tightened on the phone. When? Tomorrow. During Lily's class. Please, Ethan. Don't let them hurt our daughter. He ended the call without responding, immediately dialing Mia. Change of plans. We move tonight. Within hours, the trap was set. Extra security positioned discreetly around the community center, police on standby, surveillance equipment upgraded to catch every angle. Sir? The head of security approached Ethan. Mr. Richard Carter just entered the building through the back entrance. Jake Monroe was spotted in the parking lot. Good. Ethan checked his watch. Right on schedule. Inside the woodworking studio, Lily worked on her jewelry box while Charles kept a protective eye on her. They'd been briefed on the plan. Act natural, stay visible, wait for the signal. Jake moved first, bursting through the loading dock door with a gun drawn. Nobody moved. Richard emerged from the shadows, his sophisticated facade cracking. Hello, brother. Quite the family reunion, isn't it? Charles stepped in front of Lily. You're making a mistake, Richard. The only mistake was letting Ethan take control. But that ends tonight. Richard pulled out his own weapon. Lily, dear, you're coming with us. Your father needs to learn a lesson about family loyalty. I'd say he's learned that lesson quite well. Ethan's voice cut through the tension as he stepped into view, flanked by armed security. Police officers emerged from hidden positions, weapons trained on Jake and Richard. Drop your weapons, Detective Martinez ordered. You're both under arrest. Jake panicked, swinging his gun toward Lily. Before he could fire, Ethan's fist connected with his jaw, sending him crashing into the workbench. The gun skittered across the floor. Richard tried to run but found his path blocked by Mia and more officers. This is entrapment, he shouted as they cuffed him. I'll have your badge, Martinez. Along with the offshore accounts? The conspiracy charges? The attempted kidnapping we just recorded? Mia held up her phone, showing the live surveillance feed. I don't think you'll have much of anything where you're going. Ethan pulled Lily into his arms, checking her for any sign of distress. But his daughter wasn't crying or scared. She stood tall, watching her would-be kidnappers led away in handcuffs. I knew you'd stop them, Dad, she said simply. You always protect me. Later that night, after giving their statements to the police, Ethan sat in his study reviewing the final evidence package. Richard and Jake's recorded conversations, Rachel's testimony about their plans, the financial records showing the depth of their conspiracy. It was over. His phone buzzed. Charles. Lily forgot her jewelry box at the center. The one she was making. It's beautiful, son. She has your strength, but her own kind of wisdom. Ethan thought about the hidden compartments, the secret locks, the hope his daughter still held for her mother's redemption. Yes, she does. The foundation board meets tomorrow. They want to discuss expanding the children's programs. Your grandfather would be proud of what you've built from all this. What we've built, Ethan corrected quietly. She needs you in her life, Dad. We both do. The admission cost him nothing, he realized. Revenge had given him justice, but forgiveness, selective, earned forgiveness, had given him peace. His phone buzzed again. Mia. Rachel's asking to see you. Says she has something important to tell you. Not tonight. Ethan looked at the photo on his desk. Lily at her art show, standing proud beside her winning piece. Tonight is for family. The real victory, he realized, wasn't in destroying his enemies. It was in building something stronger than their hatred could ever be. Chapter 8. The Fall of the House of Carter. The courtroom fell silent as Richard Carter was led in, his designer suit replaced by prison orange. The mighty patriarch of the Carter family's dark side, reduced to just another criminal facing justice. Judge Harrison reviewed the charges: conspiracy, attempted kidnapping, financial fraud, witness tampering. How do you plead? Guilty, Your Honor. Richard's voice cracked. His lawyers had advised him that fighting would only make things worse. The evidence was overwhelming. From his seat in the gallery, Ethan watched his uncle's shoulders slump. The man who had tried to destroy everything, finally broken by his own ambition. Jake Monroe's sentencing had come earlier that morning, 20 years without parole. His attempt to grab Lily had violated multiple court orders, ensuring he'd serve maximum time. The court sentences you to 30 years in federal prison, Judge Harrison announced. Additionally, all assets connected to your criminal enterprises will be seized and redistributed to your victims. Richard turned, seeking sympathy from the family members present. He found none. Charles sat stone-faced beside Ethan, while Lily worked on a sketch pad, not even bothering to look up. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed them. Mr. Carter, how does it feel to see your uncle brought to justice? The Carter Foundation will continue its mission, Ethan stated firmly. Today marks the end of corruption within our family, not the end of our commitment to helping others. Back at their home, Lily disappeared into her studio while Ethan and Charles reviewed foundation documents. The scandal had actually increased donations. People respected how openly they'd handled everything. Evelyn's doctors called. Charles mentioned quietly, "She's making real progress." Asked to see Lily's art portfolio. "That's her choice to make." Ethan nodded toward the studio. "When she's ready." His phone buzzed. Rachel had checked herself into a long-term treatment facility. The message included a photo of a small garden she'd started as part of her therapy. "Dad." Lily emerged from her studio, paint streaking her clothes. "Can you come see something?" Her latest piece covered an entire wall, a massive mural showing their family's journey. The darkness featured prominently in one corner, but it didn't dominate. Instead, light flowed from multiple sources: her art, Charles's woodworking, the foundation's work, even small symbols of Rachel's attempts at recovery. "Ms. Peterson says art helps us process trauma," Lily explained. "See? The bad stuff doesn't go away, but it gets smaller when we build good things around it." Ethan hugged her close, marveling at her resilience. "When did you get so wise, Princess?" "I learned from you. You showed me that being strong doesn't mean you can't forgive. It means you choose who deserves forgiveness." Charles cleared his throat, emotions evident in his voice. The Foundation's youth center could use a mural like this. Something to show other kids they're not alone. Lily's eyes lit up. "Can I design it? I have so many ideas." "Of course." Ethan smiled. "It's your story to tell." That evening, as Lily worked on her mural designs, Ethan received an unexpected visitor. Sarah, his half-sister from Evelyn's long-ago affair, stood on his doorstep. "I heard about Richard," she said without preamble. "Thought you should know. Mom's asking about us." Really asking, not just for show. You've seen her? At the facility. She's different. Broke down crying when she saw my nursing license. Said she was sorry for denying me my family. Ethan studied his sister's face, so much like Evelyn's, yet warmer, more genuine. The Foundation's medical outreach program could use someone with your experience. Sarah's smile was tentative but real. I'd like that. His phone buzzed. Mia. Just got word. Jake's trying to appeal his sentence. Let him try. Ethan's voice held no concern. The evidence is solid. That's not why I called. Rachel? She's volunteered to testify about his other victims. Says she wants to make amends. Ethan thought about Lily's mural, about the small light she'd painted in Rachel's corner. Send me the details. I'll have our lawyers review her statement. Later that night, he found Lily asleep in her studio, surrounded by mural sketches. Each design showed the same theme: family, redemption, hope. Not just their family as it was, but as it could be. Charles helped him carry her to bed, both men careful not to wake her. She's going to change lives with her art, Charles said softly. Just like you've changed lives with the Foundation. Like we've changed lives, Ethan corrected. Together. His phone buzzed one last time. Rachel again. But instead of desperate pleas or accusations, she'd sent a simple message. Thank you for protecting her. For being the parent I couldn't be. Ethan didn't respond, but he saved the message. Not for Rachel's sake, but for Lily's. Someday, she'd want to know her mother's journey. Someday, she'd need to make her own choices about forgiveness. For now, though, they were safe. The enemies were gone, the battles won. What remained was the chance to build something lasting from the ashes of betrayal. Chapter 9. Shadows Lifted. The morning sun painted Lily's mural in shades of possibility as Ethan reviewed the final reports. Richard's empire had crumbled completely, his offshore accounts seized, his business partners turning state's evidence to save themselves. Jake's appeal had been denied, his sentence upheld. He'd spend decades behind bars, his charming facade useless against concrete walls and iron bars. Mr. Carter? His assistant interrupted his thoughts. The Foundation board is ready for your presentation. The Carter Foundation's main conference room buzzed with anticipation as Ethan outlined their new initiatives. Youth programs, domestic violence support, education grants, each project carefully designed to help families rebuild from trauma. And to unveil our new youth center mural, he concluded, I'd like to introduce our youngest board member and lead artist, Lily Carter. Lily stepped forward confidently, her presentation slides showing the evolution of her design. Gone were the nervous fidgets, the self-doubt Rachel had instilled. In their place stood a poised young artist who understood the power of her gift. Art helped me heal, she told the board. I want to help other kids find their voice too. The vote to approve her project was unanimous. Afterward, Charles hosted a small celebration at the community center. The woodworking studio had become a second home to Lily, her jewelry box projects growing more intricate with each lesson. I finished Mom's box, she told Ethan quietly. But I'm not ready to give it to her yet. That's okay, princess. Healing takes time. For everyone. His phone buzzed. Mia had sent photos from Rachel's treatment facility. She was leading art therapy sessions now, using skills she'd abandoned decades ago to help other women recover. She's doing the work, Mia's message read. Real work this time, not just for show. Sarah arrived with lunch and updates from the medical outreach program. She and Lily had grown close, sharing a creative spirit that transcended blood ties. Mom asked about your mural, she told her niece. She's been painting too, in therapy. Small things, but genuine. Lily considered this. Maybe she could help with the youth center project? When she's ready? Ethan watched his daughter's face, seeing no manipulation or pressure in her suggestion. Just hope, tempered by wisdom beyond her years. We'll see, he said carefully. For now, let's focus on your vision. Charles joined them, carrying Lily's latest woodworking project, a scale model of the youth center. The contractors need final approval on the renovation plans. As they reviewed the designs, Ethan's phone buzzed with an urgent message from his lawyers. Richard had attempted suicide in prison, leaving behind a confession that implicated several prominent business figures in his schemes. The FBI wants to interview you, Mia reported. His confession mentions threats against Lily that we didn't know about. Ethan's jaw tightened. Even in defeat, Richard tried to cause pain. Handle it. I'm not letting him disrupt her progress. The youth center opening arrived on a bright morning months later. Lily's mural dominated the main hall, a stunning testament to resilience and hope. Children gathered beneath it, pointing out details in the intricate design. Look, one small boy exclaimed. The dark parts make the bright parts stronger. Lily beamed at his observation. That's exactly right. Sometimes the hard things we go through help us appreciate the good things more. Media coverage of the opening was extensive, but focused on the future rather than the scandal. The Carter Foundation had emerged stronger, its mission clearer. Ethan's leadership style, firm but compassionate, drew praise from business and charitable circles alike. In her private rehab facility, Rachel watched the coverage on TV, tears streaming down her face. Her therapist sat nearby, noting her reactions. "They're thriving without me," Rachel whispered. "Is that what you see?" the therapist asked. "Look again. Your daughter included you in that mural. See that small light in the corner? She hasn't given up on you. She's giving you time to find your way back." Evelyn, watching from her own treatment center, recognized her granddaughter's artistic talent she'd once dismissed as disruptive. She picked up her own paintbrush, beginning another small step toward redemption. Charles expanded the community center's programs, focusing particularly on children from broken homes. His woodworking classes became a sanctuary for kids struggling with trauma and loss. Sarah's medical outreach program partnered with local hospitals, identifying families in crisis before they fractured. Her experience as the forgotten Carter child gave her unique insight into healing family wounds. Back home, Ethan found Lily adding final touches to Rachel's jewelry box. The craftsmanship was exquisite, each hidden compartment representing a piece of their complicated relationship. "It's ready," Lily announced, "but I want to wait until she earns it." "How will you know when that is?" "When she stops trying to fix things and starts building new things instead. Like you did." His phone buzzed, another update about Richard. He hadn't survived his suicide attempt, but his confession had opened doors to deeper corruption within the business world. The last shadow lifted, Mia commented when he told her. "No," Ethan corrected. "The shadows don't lift. We just learn to build around them, to use them as contrast for the light we create." Months later, Ethan sat in his study, reviewing the final draft of his memoir. Shadows of Betrayal told their story honestly but without malice. It was a testament to resilience, to the power of choosing wisdom over vengeance. The advance copies were already generating buzz. Business schools wanted to use it as a case study in ethical leadership. Domestic violence organizations praised its unflinching look at emotional manipulation. But its true impact was simpler, closer to home. It was in Lily's confident smile as she taught art classes at the youth center, in Charles's quiet pride as he mentored troubled kids, in Sarah's dedication to preventing other families from fracturing, even in Rachel and Evelyn's slow, painful steps toward genuine change. Ethan's revenge had succeeded beyond his expectations, not because it destroyed his enemies, but because it forced everyone, himself included, to face hard truths and make harder choices. The phone on his desk buzzed one final time. A message from Lily, sent from her art studio. "Dad, come see what I made. It's us, but different. It's us, but better." Ethan smiled, heading toward his daughter's creative space. The story wasn't over. It was just beginning again, painted in brighter colors. A new chapter. 6 months after publishing Shadows of Betrayal, Ethan sat in the audience at Lily's first solo art exhibition. Her work filled the gallery, a testament to pain transformed into beauty, betrayal reshaped into wisdom. The centerpiece was a triptych: past, present, and future. The past panel showed shadows and storms, the present displayed building and growth, and the future blazed with possibility. Rachel attended briefly, staying on the periphery. She wore her 6-month sobriety chip on a simple chain, her designer labels replaced by modest clothes. She didn't approach Ethan or Lily, respecting their boundaries, but she left a small note. "You both deserved better. I'm working to become better. Thank you for showing me how." Charles and Sarah hosted workshops at the youth center, their different skills creating a comprehensive support system for troubled families. Evelyn occasionally joined them, her artistic talents finally used for healing rather than maintaining appearances. The Carter Foundation became a model for family businesses transitioning from pure profit to social impact. Ethan's leadership style proved that strength didn't preclude compassion, it enhanced it. Mia remained a trusted friend and advisor, her investigative skills now focused on identifying families in crisis before tragedy struck. Her own experience with betrayal had taught her the value of prevention over revenge. And Lily? She bloomed. Her art therapy programs helped countless children process their trauma. The jewelry box she'd made for Rachel remained in her studio, not a testament to rejection, but a symbol of hope waiting to be earned. Ethan's revenge had accomplished its goal, but not in the way he'd expected. Instead of destroying his enemies, it had forced everyone to evolve, to face their shadows and choose light instead. The Carter name no longer meant wealth and social status. It meant resilience, redemption, and the courage to build something new from the ashes of betrayal. As Lily unveiled her final piece, a massive canvas showing a family rising stronger from adversity, Ethan realized his grandfather would have approved. The old man had always said true strength wasn't in destroying enemies, but in building something they couldn't break. Looking at his daughter, standing proud before her work, Ethan knew they'd built something unbreakable indeed. Extended epilogue, 10 years later legacy of strength. The Carter Foundation's new headquarters buzzed with activity as final preparations were made for its 10th anniversary celebration. At 18, Lily Carter stood before her latest installation, a massive 3-story mural depicting the Foundation's journey and impact over the past decade. "Your best work yet," Ethan commented, studying the intricate details his daughter had woven into the piece. Now 48, his hair showed touches of silver at the temples, but his presence remained as commanding as ever. "I wanted to show everything," Lily explained, gesturing to different sections. The Youth Center's success, Grandpa's mentorship program, Aunt Sarah's medical outreach, even Mom's recovery center. The last decade had transformed the Carter legacy. What began as Ethan's calculated revenge had evolved into something far more powerful, a force for genuine change in countless lives. Mia Torres, now the Foundation's head of security and investigation, approached with her tablet. "Final security sweep is complete. Though I doubt Richard's old allies would try anything after all this time, they're all either reformed or imprisoned," Ethan replied. His former enemies had learned their lessons well. Richard had died in prison 7 years ago, his confession leading to the dismantling of multiple corrupt business networks. Jake Monroe remained incarcerated, his appeals exhausted, his charm forgotten behind prison walls. "Dad." Lily's voice drew his attention back to the mural. "Look who's here." Rachel stood in the entrance, a decade of sobriety evident in her clear eyes and genuine smile. She transformed her experience into purpose, running one of the Foundation's most successful rehabilitation programs for women escaping abusive relationships. "The art therapy wing is ready for the ceremony," she said, maintaining the professional distance that had become their new normal. The latest group of residents created something special for the anniversary. Lily hugged her mother, a gesture that had once seemed impossible. Rachel's path to redemption hadn't been easy. It took 3 years of consistent therapy and proven change before she earned the right to give Lily that jewelry box, now displayed prominently in her office as a symbol of their rebuilt relationship. Charles emerged from his workshop on the building's ground floor, sawdust still clinging to his clothes. At 75, he'd scaled back his hands-on teaching but remained deeply involved in the Foundation's youth mentorship programs. The woodworking skills he'd taught had given countless troubled kids a constructive outlet for their pain. "The new apprentices are finishing their graduation projects," he reported proudly. "You should see what your daughter's been teaching them about incorporating art into woodcraft." Sarah joined them, her medical team's successes evident in the statistics displayed on the mural. Thousands of families helped, relationships healed, cycles of abuse broken. Her own journey from forgotten child to respected leader had inspired many of the Foundation's most innovative programs. "The twins are here," she mentioned carefully, watching Ethan's reaction. Tom and Emma Monroe, now 17, had reached out to their half-sister 2 years ago. After learning the full truth about their father's crimes, They'd chosen to reconnect with the Carter family on their own terms. Under Lily's influence, both had discovered their own creative talents, Tom in architecture, Emma in design. They brought their pieces for the youth gallery, Lily added. They're really good, Dad. Ethan nodded, accepting without rancor. The twins had proven themselves different from their father, and Lily's happiness mattered more than old grudges. The main auditorium filled with guests, beneficiaries, donors, partners, and staff. Each face represented a piece of the foundation's evolving story. Among them sat Evelyn, her own decade-long journey from superficial socialite to authentic supporter marked by the quiet dignity she'd finally found. Ready? Mia asked, checking the schedule. Ethan surveyed the room, remembering the darkness that had started this journey. His revenge had succeeded beyond his expectations, not by destroying his enemies, but by transforming their world. Lily took the stage first, her presence commanding attention without effort. 10 years ago, my father taught me that strength isn't just about surviving betrayal. It's about building something meaningful from the experience. She unveiled her latest project, a series of interconnected art therapy spaces designed to help families heal together. The concept had already been adopted by treatment centers across the country. The Carter Foundation today isn't just about second chances, she continued. It's about first steps towards something better. Every person in this room has a story of transformation. Together, we've proven that the darkest shadows can inspire the brightest lights. The presentation continued, highlighting key achievements. Charles's mentorship program had expanded to 50 cities, Sarah's medical outreach had become a model for preventive family care, and Rachel's rehabilitation center had one of the highest success rates in the country. None of this would exist without crisis and choice, Ethan addressed the audience. 10 years ago, I chose revenge. But thanks to my daughter's wisdom, that revenge became revolution. Today, we don't just help people escape darkness. We teach them to build their own light. Later that evening, during the reception, Lily found her father in his office, reviewing old photographs. Thinking about Grandpa Carter? He always said money revealed character, Ethan mused. But he never specified what kind of character it would reveal. I think he'd be proud of how we revealed ours. Lily perched on his desk, just as she had as a child. Even the hard parts helped us grow. The photos tracked their journey. Lily's first art show, Rachel's first year of sobriety, Charles teaching his first group of troubled youth, Sarah establishing her medical program. Each image marked a step away from revenge toward restoration. Your new series debuts next month, Ethan noted, changing subjects. Nervous? Lily laughed. About showing my work at the Metropolitan Museum of Art? Terrified. But you taught me that fear just means we're attempting something worthwhile. Her upcoming exhibition, titled Shadows and Light, A Family's Journey, had already generated significant buzz in the art world. Critics praised her ability to transform personal trauma into universal hope. Tom asked if he could intern at your architecture firm. She mentioned carefully, "He's really talented, Dad. And he's not Jake." I know. Ethan had seen the boys' designs. They showed innovation and integrity, not manipulation. Tell him to submit his application. He'll be evaluated on his own merit. A knock interrupted them, Mia with the latest security reports. A decade of vigilance had prevented any serious attempts at retaliation from Richard's old allies, but they maintained strict protocols. The background checks on the new rehabilitation center staff are complete, she reported. All clear. And Rachel's program has a waiting list again. Rachel's transformation had surprised many, but not Lily. She'd seen the change in her mother long before others believed it possible. The jewelry box had been just the beginning. Now they shared a genuine relationship built on earned trust and mutual respect. The twins' mom called, Mia added. She's marking 5 years sober next month. Wants to volunteer at Rachel's center. Another cycle of healing. Another shadow transformed. The pattern had become familiar over the years. Those who received help often became the most dedicated helpers. Evening found the family gathering at Charles's home. No longer a mansion but a warm, welcoming space filled with art and woodwork from countless students. Sarah brought her medical outreach reports, Rachel shared updates from the rehabilitation center, and Lily sketched new ideas for youth program spaces. Remember when we couldn't even be in the same room? Rachel mused, watching Lily collaborate with the twins on a design concept. You earned your way back, Ethan replied simply. A decade of consistent change had proved her commitment to redemption. Charles joined them, his weathered hands still strong from daily woodworking. The foundation board approved the expansion plans. 10 new youth centers next year. Each center would feature art therapy spaces, woodworking studios, medical support, and rehabilitation resources. The comprehensive approach had proven far more effective than traditional intervention methods. Did you ever imagine this? Rachel asked softly. When you started your revenge plan, did you see any of this coming? No, Ethan admitted. I saw destruction. Lily showed me construction was more powerful. Their conversation was interrupted by excited calls from the design table. Lily and the twins had created a concept for integrated family healing spaces, art, craft, and therapy combined in ways that honored each person's journey. See, Lily pointed to different elements. The shadows don't disappear, but they become part of the foundation. Like us. Watching his daughter explain her vision, Ethan reflected on their decade-long transformation. His revenge had succeeded, but not as planned. Instead of destroying his enemies, it had forced everyone, himself included, to evolve beyond their darkest impulses. The Carter name now stood for something greater than wealth or power. It represented the possibility of genuine change, the strength found in facing truth, and the wisdom to build light from darkness. Continuing legacy. As midnight approached, Ethan found himself in Lily's old art studio, now transformed into a teaching space for young artists. Her earliest paintings still hung on one wall, a chronicle of their journey from pain to purpose. The next generation of Carters was already showing promise. Tom's architectural designs reflected his uncle's precision while incorporating his sister's artistic influence. Emma's therapeutic art programs helped children process trauma through creativity. Even Evelyn had found her place, using her social connections to generate support for family rehabilitation programs. Her own healing journey had taught her the value of authentic relationships over superficial status. Mia's security protocols had become a model for other organizations, emphasizing prevention and protection over punishment. Her team trained staff to recognize signs of domestic violence and emotional manipulation, stopping cycles of abuse before they escalated. The foundation's success had inspired similar programs worldwide. Ethan regularly received requests to consult with other family businesses transitioning from profit-focused to purpose-driven models. Looking toward the future, the path seemed clear. Lily would eventually lead the foundation, bringing her unique blend of artistic vision and emotional intelligence to its next phase. The twins would contribute their talents, proving that heritage didn't dictate destiny. Rachel's rehabilitation program would continue growing, her hard-earned wisdom helping others find their way back from betrayal. Charles's mentorship model would expand, reaching more troubled youth through practical skills and patient guidance. Sarah's medical outreach would evolve, incorporating new understanding of family trauma and healing. The comprehensive approach they developed would influence social services and healthcare policies. Dad, Lily's voice drew him from his thoughts. Everyone's gathering for the final toast. In the main hall, beneath her massive mural, the extended Carter family raised their glasses. Blood relations and chosen family, past adversaries and new allies, all connected by a decade of transformation. To shadows transformed, Ethan began their traditional toast. To light created, Lily continued. To family rebuilt, Rachel added softly. To wisdom earned, Charles contributed. To healing shared, Sarah concluded. The words echoed through the space, reflecting off artwork and woodwork that told their story. Each piece represented a choice, to build rather than destroy, to transform rather than condemn, to grow beyond the limitations of revenge. As the celebration wound down, Ethan watched Lily gather her art supplies, preparing for the next day's youth classes. Her path had evolved from personal healing to helping others heal, from surviving trauma to transforming it. The revenge that had started their journey was now just one chapter in a much larger story. The true victory lay not in defeating enemies, but in becoming something they could never imagine, a force for genuine change in a world that desperately needed it. The Carter legacy, once built on wealth and social status, now stood for something far more valuable, The power of choosing light over darkness, growth over stagnation, and wisdom over vengeance. 10 years had proved that the strongest revenge wasn't in destroying what was, but in building what could be. The shadows remained, but they no longer defined the light. This is where our story comes to an end. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for your time. If you enjoy this story, please subscribe to this channel. Click on the video you see on the screen, and I will see you there.